Hey guys, Savage Joy here at Harrisburg, PA Capital. We are, in case you haven't been here, um, the Capitol is behind me. Um, we do a lot of protests, rallies, and marches here. I have been the organizer of many of them. This was really last minute. It was not put online or anything due to safety, just because I'm not sure if you guys heard, but there was um, a Free Palestine rally here last Friday, and someone came and held a gun to a Muslim woman's head. So people are worried here, but um, we know that uh, the risk is worth it. We know that our safety is a concern, but also the safety of you know Palestinian people are also a concern. Um, I'm so happy this is my third uh, Free Palestine protest this week. I was in Lancaster last weekend. I was in DC on Wednesday. And so I'm here at Harrisburg today. Um, but like I said, you know, we couldn't even put this online. I'm very fortunate. A wonderful Palestinian American young lady named Cece gave me a text and told me about it. And it was funny because I had texted her yesterday and said, we got to organize something at the Capitol against Fetterman. Because those of you who don't have um, Twitter, I'm not sure if he put it on Facebook, but those of you who don't have Twitter, just to give you a heads up, Fetterman made a thread of, I forget if it was 4 or 5 tweets that were so absolutely repulsive. Um, One of the ones that offended people the most is, now is not the time for a ceasefire. When is the time? What does that even mean? You are against what is likely millions of us in the street for the past 2 weeks, including in Israel, protesting this. You're against that? You're against helping humanity? I'm not surprised, but what the actual fuck? So, you guys know how I feel about him. I've always known he was absolute garbage. But he's made really pro Israel comments in the past. But these are legit, like straight up anti Palestine comments in those tweets. If you haven't seen it, they are still up, even though huge pushback and ratio, they're still up. He sees no problem with them. Um, I was just interviewed by ABC News, and I let that known. And I know people in my area are not going to be happy with me calling him racist and xenophobic, but oh well. Um, that's reality. He has taken, I believe, I just saw it this morning, over $22,000 from APAC, and that makes sense because Biden was holding fundraisers for him. So why people even supported him to begin with, I'm not sure, because he's friends with Biden and Hillary. So his support for genocide is certainly not shocking. Um, so that's why we're here. There is a pretty good turnout considering we didn't even put this online. Give me one moment. moment, I am going to flip this camera so you guys can see. Um, oh, hi, PK. It is a free Palestine ceasefire. Let Gaza live, not in our name. That is our protest here at the Capitol. Let me see. Oh, there it goes. Now you can see the Capitol. I'm here quite often. And one of the Popo told me I should have to pay a second mortgage because I'm here enough. I'm like, you're not my friend. Don't joke. We're not buddies. Um, oh, here's an interesting gem. So, one of our Palestinian uh, comrades called the cops and said, hey, we're now, just so you know, the way we do here, we never get permits. We never tell cops, ever. This is a very different situation when someone has a gun held to their head at this exact spot this week. Um, and they called the cops and said, are you going to be here? We are scared for our safety, but we're still going to do this. And the cops said that they would come and supervise or whatever the hell they would be doing for $70 an hour each cop, minimum of 4 hours. So you're talking $280 out of our pockets for cops who are already being fucking paid. Are you kidding me? But it's legal. Pennsylvania has some of the worst bribery in government out of the entire United States. Yes, I'm serious. Even though they're being paid by our state and our county, our city, they want us to pay $70 an hour to come here and do their job. Then, now, somebody's telling me that there are Popo here and they have Palestinian flags in their trunk. I don't know what the hell this is. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know if they're ops. I don't know if they're going to pretend to be one of us in case someone comes up. I don't know. I have no idea. It's crazy. But in any case, please just, send positive vibes and hope that we all stay safe. We're going to get this going shortly. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see the crowd. And like I said, we didn't put this online because of safety. So the fact that there are so many people here is like, it makes me emotional. It's beautiful. So let me turn this around. I love when people show up and they beep, they honk, and they cheer. It's a really good feeling. Really good feeling. Let me see. All right. Hold on, my blind ass can't really see. It is sunny, but it is cold and windy AF. Like, I mean, seriously AF. All right, let me see. Camera. Turn that bitch around. That camera. Doom, doom, doom. Here we go. Now we're cooking. All right. PK, tell Jenna to get her butt in here. I don't know where she is, but anyway. So, here is some of the crowd. I'm going to go down on the side so you can see just how many people are here. They are all the way down the Capitol steps. This is a really good place to have rallies and protests because, as you can see, these steps go way up. this is just two of the sections. Um, excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. So, yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of people here, which I'm so happy about. They're getting ready to start the speakers. There's such a wonderful community here in Harrisburg and Lancaster. You never know because Lancaster is 81% white and it's Amish country. So we really had no idea who was going to show up or if it was going to be counter protested or what. Speakers will be starting. My Uber driver was like really supportive. He's like, "What's going on at the Capitol?" And he was really cool. I was like, "Well, whether he gives cool, if he's cool or not, that's going to depend on whether he gets a tip." I do know some people here, which is always awesome. Yeah, it is windy AF. It's cold. A lot of us have jackets on. Right there, that's how you parent. Right there. That is how you parent. I love it. Love to see it. There are some speakers, well, speakers, but literally speakers over there. So I'm hoping I can get good sound for you guys. Um, what amazes me, hi. What amazes me is like in DC, okay, so when I was there Wednesday, they they're like, we we got this together in 2 days. I'm like, what? They had a stage, they had speakers, they had a sound system, they had, I mean, I was just blown away because shit, it takes me a good 6 months to even raise $100, you know. Here we go. I'll ask what this means afterwards. I'm not certain. I know the protest I went to in DC was absolutely life changing. It was so incredible. Let's see if I can get a good view for you guys over here. It's really emotional to be here. I know not everybody can do this. I know that not everybody has the means to go places or to organize. Oh,
And if the speakers can kind of meet up here, that would be great. Thank you.
Oh, this is really emotional. Oh, what I was saying is that if you don't have a rally by you, please try to organize one. Um, all you have to do is literally go online to a local group, especially Facebook. Someone will join, guarantee. I've done it so many times. And also, if you go to one, you may find people who want to do another one or want to do one in another city. Give me 1 second. My phone, my blind ass touched something. PK, can you share this? More people definitely need to see this. Post on Twitter or what have you.
What is this? Down, please.
Alright, there we go. So anyway, you have blind girl issues. I'm envious of people who have like camera
Free Palestine!
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 Thank you guys for coming out. We're gonna start with a dua. It's in Islam, like a prayer and asking God by Imam Taha. Okay.
O Allah, as we are gathered here today, we know that you are the creator of all that exists, the heavens and the earth. You are the most powerful. There is no strength or no power except through you. We know that you are a just God, you are a just creator. And we ask on this day that you give aid and assistance to the people in Gaza. We ask, O Allah, that you heal those who have been injured. We ask Allah that you make those who have passed away to be amongst the martyrs and amongst the shuhada, and that they be in the highest places in Jannah. We ask Allah that you aid us in ending oppression, and that you are a God who hates oppression and has made it forbidden upon yourself and upon your creation. So we ask you to rid us of the oppression that is happening in Palestine and happening all over the world. Oh Allah, we ask you to give aid to the people of Gaza, to make them strong in this time, and allow our efforts, as small as it is, to be an effort that we can use on the day of judgment as a proof that we opposed oppression, and that we did not stand doing nothing, but that we tried our best to do whatever was in our power. Oh Allah, we ask you to allow the community, the world community, to see that what's going on in Palestine as a true injustice that needs to be stopped. We ask Allah to bring peace to the land, and that all people can come together upon truth and upon justice. Oh Allah, we ask you that you help those who are in need, and you give aid to those who are orphans, and give aid to those who are widows, and give aid to those who are suffering, and allow those people to be strong in this time. Oh Allah, we ask you that you help us and help those who are struggling, and that you make it a sincere effort on our part, that you accept it from us, and that you enter us into your paradise. واخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين سبحان ربك رب العزه عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Gaza! Free Gaza! Free Palestine!
Free Palestine! Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Gaza.
Free, free Gaza.
Free, free Gaza.
Gaza.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Thank you. We are going to be starting our speeches now. You're welcome to face us. We're trying to make sure everyone can hear us. We'll try to be as loud as we can. So you want to just come up here? Hello, everyone. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. You are all part of the millions upon millions of people from all walks of life around the world standing up against the injustice and ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people and the Palestinian people and children in Gaza. They cannot ignore the black, the brown, the white, the Muslim, the Christian, the Jewish, and people of no faith that are coming out and demanding justice and the right to freedom for our Palestinian brothers and sisters. And I'm here to tell you that you are standing on the right side of history. Let's remind everyone why we are here. This did not start on October 7th, 2023. It started on May 15th, 1948. You know, there are a few events in modern history that are as significant and devastating as the Nakba of 1948, which took place in the heart of Palestine. What was the Nakba of 1948? The Nakba was a mass displacement and ethnic cleansing of Palestinians from their homes and land during the establishment of the State of Israel. For those who don't know what Nakba means, it means catastrophe in Arabic. An estimated 700,000 Palestinians were forcibly and illegally uprooted as a result of the Nakba. Thousands were killed. It was a genocide of the Palestinian people. Ancestral land were stolen and lost. Families were split up. Communities were destroyed. Thousands of Palestinians were massacred. We demand acknowledgement continues to grow. And we are seeing this in great numbers today. Thanks to all of you and the millions of people around the world, we as Palestinians are still fighting for the right to return to our ancient homeland. We are fighting to be freed from the occupational apartheid. And we are still fighting to end the ongoing ethnic cleansing and genocide of the Palestinian people carried out by the Zionist Israeli regime. As I stated last time, 75 years later, we are still witnessing the consequences of 75 years of Zionist settler colonial rule, 56 years of a violent, illegal military occupation, 16 years of a brutal blockade that has suffocated the Gaza Strip and the 2.2 million Palestinians that live within it. Over 5,000 people have been massacred in Gaza. 5,000 Palestinians massacred in Gaza. Over 1,700 of them, of whom are children.
Shame!
Israel dropped an equivalent of a quarter of a nuclear bomb on Gaza. This is not a war. A war implies equal footing and symmetrical power. Armies instead of unarmed civilians as targets. Let's call it what it is. A genocide and an ethnic cleansing of Palestinian people.
Yes.
We need to make it clear of what we want. We demand a ceasefire, but that is the bare minimum.
Yes.
We not only want a ceasefire now, We want to end the blockade and siege on Gaza. We want to put an end to U.S.-funded illegal occupation of Palestine from our very own U.S. taxpayer dollars. We demand more humanitarian aid to enter Gaza because 20 trucks is not enough for 2 million people whose water, electricity, food, internet, basic human necessities has been cut off. We want justice. We want a free Palestine. I've taken away many great words of wisdom from yesterday's protests in D.C. If any of you were there, it was an amazing turnout. And I want to leave you off with one note, and it's about power. There are two types of power. There's that power, the power of that building behind me, and the ones in DC. And there's a power of the people in the streets, all of you. And guess what? History is determined by the power of the people in the streets. We must continue standing up, educating people, speaking out, using our voices, because we will forever be the voices of the Palestinians. Thank you. Free
Palestine!
free
Palestine!
free
Palestine! Palestine!
louder, I can't hear you. Free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine. Thank you. I don't know if everyone could see me down here, maybe, or hear me. I'm a very loud person, so hopefully you guys can hear me from wherever you're standing. Salam, my name is Elisa. Thank you all for coming out to speak up against injustice and the genocide that is being committed against the Palestinians in Gaza. I first want to acknowledge the Native Americans whose land I am standing on, who went through settler colonialism and genocide as well. I cannot speak about these topics without acknowledging the indigenous people of America. We are all here in solidarity. All different races, all different religions and ethnic backgrounds. We stand united against systematic oppression and all different types of racism. We have been screaming into deaf ears for decades, begging anyone to listen. We are fighting against Zionism. Millions of people in the streets all over the world fighting. This isn't a religious issue. It's a genocide against Palestinians of all faiths. Palestinian Muslims, Palestinian Christians, and Palestinian Jews. Now, we see a shift. Americans are waking up, finally. They can see through the lies of the government, the lies of their president, and the sponsored and biased media that is supposed to report the unconditional and honest reality, but are bought off. I noticed how you guys been seeing videos in Gaza, videos on the ground. Did you notice that they're speaking in English? That's not their first language. Who are they talking to? They're talking directly to the West.
Yes.
Wanting them to be understood with no room for translation error. While the oppressors are buying media off and spending millions of dollars on propaganda, we do not have the funds to do the same, yet they're still losing the media war. Americans, we don't have free health care. Inflation is at an all-time high. People are bankrupt after a hospital stay. Children are in schools that do not get free luncheons or in debt over a cheese stick. Our homeless crisis increasing. Public schools all over the country not having enough funding to educate children. Shame. Shame. Yet Biden can send billions of dollars to Israel a year?
Shame.
Where's our free healthcare?
Yes.
Where's our American rights? Don't you see? Citizens and civilians are not essential and a priority to these politicians. Palestinians in Gaza have been consistently posting on social media for the main purpose of getting people to open their eyes. Did you know there's 50,000 pregnant women in Gaza right now? About 150 women giving birth a day. They cut off water. They cut off electricity. They're not getting the right care they need. Over 100 premature babies have died in the NICU because of no electricity. I am tired of seeing mothers holding the corpses of their children. I am tired of seeing fathers crying as they kiss their babies goodbye. Just today, I saw a father hugging his father in death, and they were frozen in time like that forever. I cannot believe I'm here standing, demanding the bare minimum, a ceasefire to end the slaughter. 2.2 million people in Gaza are under constant terror, where no one is safe. They bombed hospitals. They bombed churches. They bombed mosques. They bombed residential buildings, schools, and more. Tell me, where are they to go? Where are they to go? Shame! Shame! They let only 20 trucks in of aid to 2.2 million people? That won't even be enough for a neighborhood. They are no longer just in an open air prison, but the largest concentration and extermination camp. The West Bank that is living under the occupation of Israel, being under control. And if anyone there speaks up against their occupiers, they are taken as hostages and thrown into jail. Shame! Israel, release the 6,000 political Palestinian prisoners. Israel is solely responsible for all the violence and the bloodshed. Israel is a settler colonial state trying to erase an entire population into extinction. But we live on to fight in the name of the tens of thousands murdered Palestinians. The millions of Palestinians who have been kicked out of their homes so the colonizers could take it by force. We say, free, free Palestine!
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 If you're thinking, where's humanity? It is here within us, the people. We are the voices of the people who have been failed over and over and over again. If you're thinking, why isn't anyone doing anything? Because they're cowards and they're afraid. But I stand before you not afraid in the slightest. We are not afraid to call out this country and its president and how he is complicit in the genocide and ethnic cleansing of Palestinians.
Shame!
We see through your lies and press conferences and meetings with Israel. Your racist propaganda is the reason why a 6-year-old boy named Wadea was stabbed 27 times last week in Chicago.
Shame!
What was his crime? Being a Palestinian Muslim American boy. Unlike you, the oppressors, we are resilient and we're strong and we see the truth with our own eyes. Israel is losing the media war because people are waking up and finally seeing the truth. Our country is filled with beautiful culture. The scarf is called the kufiya, and it's a symbol of freedom and resistance. And one day we will see a free Palestine within our lifetimes. Free, free Palestine!
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 End the siege on Gaza now!
And Gaza now!
End the siege on 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 Gaza now!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Thank you.
Woo!
There are moments in our lives where for a short period of time, our voices are heard and we can make a difference. That time is now.
Yes.
I have a simple, short message for everyone. Please continue using your voice. Continue using your platform to show people the truth, to open their eyes to what's happening in Palestine and what has been happening for years. And please be mindful and be poised when you're speaking on this. Be careful what you share, what you say, and how you say it, because it all makes a difference on how people perceive us and how they hopefully humanize Palestinian people. But we're doing a great job. A lot of people who did not know what was going on, now their eyes are opening to the truth. And that's because of us. That's because of people that are not afraid to stand up and speak the truth. When you stand for Palestine, when you stand with Palestine, a lot of people may ask you if you condemn certain things. Innocent lives being taken, everyone should stand against that. Everyone in the entire world should stand against innocent civilian lives taken. That's a gift. That is obvious.
Yes.
So ask them, what do they condemn? Ask them, what do they condemn? Ask them, do you condemn years and years of occupation and oppression to the Palestinian people? Ask them, do you condemn apartheid? Do you condemn the siege on Gaza? Do you condemn Israel blocking electricity, food, water, basic needs for citizens? Do you condemn that? Most importantly, maybe, do you condemn American tax dollars in the billions going to Israel so they can place a genocide on the Palestinian people? Ask them if they condemn this. And people say they stand with humanity. If you stand with humanity, if you truly stand with humanity, then you stand with Palestine. So please, everyone, continue to use your voices, continue to use your platforms in person and online, and just be mindful of what you say and how you say it. And we will continue to use our voices until the siege is lifted, until the occupation has come to an end, and until we finally see a free Palestine. So please, everybody, loud and proud, when I say free, let me hear you say Palestine. Free!
Palestine!
Free!
Palestine!
Free!
Palestine!
Free!
Palestine!
Thank you.
Free, free Palestine!
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 Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Sorry. Okay. It saddens me that we are here again at another protest for peace, at another rally to show our support for our siblings being massacred in Palestine, another genocide unfolding before our very eyes, and not a single member of Pennsylvania's House or Senate, many of whom we helped elect, can be found standing with us in solidarity.
Shame!
But are we surprised?
No!
It is clear that the death of innocent Palestinian civilians will not receive the same outpouring of messages of comfort or condolences from our elected officials. And since it is clear that most of the mainstream media doesn't want to show the world images of dead Palestinian babies or the mass graves that are being dug for the now more than 4,000 human beings murdered by the Israeli government, and since it is clear that our nation's government, these United States of America, are in fact united in unequivocally supporting the annihilation of indigenous people, as was committed against its own indigenous people, then it should be clear to us and come as no surprise that we must stand up and be the voices for those who are systematically oppressed and silenced and living under an inhumane siege and apartheid state. But nothing I say can bring you comfort. Nothing I do can prevent another bomb from striking a hospital, a UN shelter, a church, or a mosque in Gaza. I feel as helpless as all of you standing here. My righteous anger will not bring back Wadi al-Fayoum, the 6-year-old Palestinian American boy who was brutally murdered by his 71-year-old landlord in Illinois. And it is
Shame!
And it is in these precise moments of helplessness that I turn to the words of God to find comfort, because God knows I won't find it from elected officials, from my neighbors, and sadly not even from most of the people that call me their friend or claim to be my allies.
Yes.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. And if a man from another country is living in your land with you, do not make life hard for him. Let him be to you as one of your countrymen, and have love for him as for yourself. For you are living in a strange land, in the land of Egypt. I am the God, your God. Does anybody know where this is from? This is from the Hebrew scripture found in Leviticus chapter 19, verse 33 to 34, also known as the Torah, and what the Christians call the Old Testament. Woe to him who builds his house by unjust gain, setting his nest on high to escape the clutches of ruin. You have plotted the ruin of many peoples, shaming your own house and forfeiting your life. The stones of the wall will cry out, and the beams of the woodwork will echo it. Woe to him who builds a city with bloodshed and establishes a town by injustice. Also from the Old Testament, Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 9 through 12. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim release of the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to set free those who are oppressed. This is from the New Testament Bible, Luke chapter 4, verse 18. For those who ask, what would Jesus do? That is what Jesus, peace be upon him, would do.
Woo! Yes.
In St. Paul's letter to the Ephesians, we are also reminded of who we should stand up to when he wrote, for our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil. Chapter 6, verse 12. Would we be standing here if people adhered to these verses? These aren't merely suggestions. These are commandments by God revealed through his prophets. And before I'm accused of pointing the finger, let me also include these verses from the Quran, Islam's holy book and guidance for Muslims. O you who believe, be persistent in standing firm for Allah, as witnesses in justice, and do not let the enmity of a people prevent you from being just. Be just, that is nearer to piety and righteousness. And another verse that's difficult for me to remember when I'm replying to comments on social media. Among the worshippers of the beneficent God are those who walk gently on the earth, and when addressed by the ignorant ones, their response is, peace be with you. These verses are a reminder to myself first and foremost, because I am angry. I'm reading the countless lies online. I've heard all the propaganda, listened to the blatant hypocrisy of our so-called leaders, felt their bias, experienced Islamophobia, all while witnessing the daily war crimes committed against innocent civilians, aided by our tax dollars.
Shame!
I see the fear of being labeled anti-Jewish or anti-Semitic but do not see a fear of being labeled anti-Muslim or anti-Arab, who, by the way, are also Semitic people. I've
Yes,
seen pro-Palestinian advocates be accused of being terrorist sympathizers, but have not seen pro-Israeli supporters being accused of being war crime supporters.
Yes.
Why the double standard? Why the selective outrage? What should I do with this righteous anger? As a Muslim, I am commanded to put all my faith and trust in God and to turn to Him alone for comfort. However, it is not weakness, but rather human nature that seeks compassion and strength from our fellow human beings too. So I will continue to ask for it, to speak out, share the truth, attend marches and protests, and pray that people's eyes, hearts and minds are opened and that they find the courage to defend the lives of all innocent civilians. But most importantly, I urge us all to adhere to the tenets of our faith, and if you do not prescribe to any faith, then to follow the basic laws of humanity and justice, because none of us is free until all of us are free. Free Palestine! End the occupation! Liberate Al-Quds! And peace will follow. Thank you for your time. Assalamu alaikum.
Oh my God. I need tissue.
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
End the occupation now!
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 Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Biden, what do you say?
Biden, what do you say?
How many kids have you killed today?
How many kids have you killed today?
Biden, what do you say?
What do you say?
How many kids have you killed today?
How many kids have you killed today?
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Now we'll have our next speaker, Tiara. I just want to remind everyone to please spread out as much as possible so that we can take up all the steps, because that's what we're here to do.
Hello, my name is Tiara. I'm a wife, mother for an aunt, a sister, and I was incredibly humbled last night for most of my life when I was asked to speak today, and I want you to know that I'm nervous, but I am nervous that I will not use my privilege to elevate your voices enough, because right now I don't feel like enough exists. But I'm gonna do my best, because what's been bothering me is I feel like we're getting numbers from Palestine and stories from Israel about the victims, and I want to talk about Palestinians instead for once. It's not a number in this situation, but as the individual people that they are. So here with me is my daughter Aubrey, and she's 12. Ryder is 6, Asher is 4, Ezra is 1. And I watch these crimes unfold as a mother. I don't sleep anymore. I have closely followed the cause of the Palestinian people for the last almost 12 years of my life. Of all the things in the world that I ache for, Palestine has always been the one that hurts me the most. I will not look away right now, I promise you, no matter what happens, I will not look away. I have been watching on-the-ground accounts of the massacre happening in Palestine. I am traumatized. I cannot begin to imagine how they feel. I cannot begin to imagine how you feel. But I told myself that the least I can do is remember them and mourn them. Bear witness to their suffering, mourn their children, cry for them, and love them from afar. I won't look away until it is over, and then I will not look away still to make sure it never happens again. This hurts. This is breaking me. Again, I don't know how you are so strong. When we look away, though, we have to remember that we're joining in the harm. The ignorance, the privilege to look away, it creates so much more harm. So I will watch as long as Palestinians live and die this way. I will watch as long as they have to do that.
Palestine!
There are many Palestinian reporters risking their lives every single day, all day, to capture this footage in real time. Many have been murdered. That is a war crime. They mourn their loved ones as they find them dead, and they continue on while helping victims, pulling them from the rubble and carrying dying children to the hospitals, trying to comfort them when their parents are nowhere to be found. They are the greatest heroes I have ever known in my 32 years of life. They are not armed. They are average Palestinians who heard their call to spread the word of what is happening to their people, and they took it knowing the cost. These first-hand accounts are easy to find online. We aren't shown the pain and the carnage here in America. We are kept in the dark unless we go looking. No one is denying the validity of this footage. It's just simply something you have to go find. You can't be looking for a confirmation bias. You cannot fake the terror and pain on the faces of these children and the voices of their parents. Please, if you haven't already, go onto Instagram, which sounds crazy, right? But here we are in the age of social media, and I think we have to remember the social part right now is so important because communication changes everything. And you can go and you can find Sean King's page, and he will have links to all of the Palestinian journalists I have been following, and it is life-changing. I will think about that footage until the day I die. Share the information. I haven't put trigger warnings because I want to make people look. These children don't get warnings. These innocent people don't get warnings. So make people look. And remember that together we can gather the information, we can debunk lies, and we can show the people who think that they are in power that we know what they're doing now. It's a new age, and we can talk to each other. And we can see how similar we all really are. And these aren't just broad numbers, but individual children, women, elderly, men just trying to provide for their families in a place that due to illegal occupation lives with 85% of its people in poverty. Remember them and the individual terror, the true reality and weight. Share the stories of these children so that they may never be forgotten. I know I will never be able to forget the evil that I have had to watch unfold. I have seen a young teenage boy in a refugee camp cry, "Who am I going to call mama now?" over and over after he lost his mother when the camp was hit by an airstrike made possible by the American government.
Shame!
I have watched Palestinian children write their names on their arms so they can be identified if they are bombed or shot in the name of self-defense from the nation that has been oppressing their families since long before they were born. I have watched tiny bodies with their names carefully written on them, covered in white sheets for the last time. I have seen a father clutching his lifeless baby in his lifeless arms under a pile of rubble that used to be their family home before it was bombed by Israel with avid support from American. I didn't sleep last night.
Shame!
I have seen bodies piled up outside of a mosque. I have seen them outside of the world's oldest church, multiple hospitals, refugee camps, towns that were promised to be safe for those who evacuated, schools, and I could go on. These are war crimes being committed against children in the womb, newborns. No one is safe over there. Israel is committing war crimes and America is signing the checks. But this is not new. Hospitals, schools, and refugee camps have always been targets of Israel's relentless attacks. I've watched credible sources, professionals in their fields, disprove claims over and over again. It should be clear to us that they're lying for a reason. There's absolutely never a valid reason to massacre children. The need to lie about the circumstances proves that they know that. We should always agree that children should not be murdered in war. The children are not a threat. The children. I have seen too many lifeless bodies weighing no more than 30 pounds lifted up out of rubble with their names taped to the pajamas they wore to bed that night. I have seen the bodies of children piled onto stretchers and wrapped in sheets, carefully tucked in with love by strangers who found them and don't know their names. I have seen children barely old enough to communicate, shaking in literal shock from surviving a bomb, covered in rubble and blood. I have watched a doctor who worked for 36 hours come home to find his house destroyed and his entire family martyred. I have watched a child barely older than my 6-year-old son cry. We did nothing. We were sleeping. as she shook from the shock of what she had just endured. I watched a young girl barely older than my 12-year-old daughter. She was pinned beneath rubble, and she was being dug out, and all she could cry was, "Where are my siblings?" And I know that my daughter would do the same thing. I went, I found her, I held her, and I cried. I have watched children comfort children because their parents were all martyred at the hands of Israel with the full support of America. I don't want to pay for that.
Shame!
I have watched Palestinian mothers clutch the lifeless bodies of child after child, and they flash through my mind each time I look at any of my 4 children. I weep with them, I wail with them, I mourn with them, I will ache with them deeply until the day that I die. I will hear their cries in my ears for as long as I live. And the world should be traumatized by this. We should all be traumatized. I have watched a young boy around 8 dig with his bare hands through the obliterated remains of his family's home, just searching desperately for them. I have never seen anything so cruel in my life. I have watched children the size of my own receiving chest compressions to no avail. I have watched ambulance after ambulance packed full of children hanging to life unload outside of the hospitals that are left. Hospitals running out of supplies and electricity, and then I've watched those ambulances be bombed, and that is a war crime. I have watched as a newborn surgically removed from her deceased mother's womb was intubated as a Palestinian doctor desperately tried to save her life, and those ventilators, they're going to run out of power soon. I have watched parents mourn losing all of their children. I know that as a mother, I would not be able to go on. I cannot believe how very painful that agony is, how very unbearable. I've watched a young boy take a strand of hair so that he could remember his brother. I look at my boys, I see their bond, and I cry. I have watched the child the age of my young one cry, "Where's Mama? I need Mama." Mama couldn't come back anymore. She was murdered in an airstrike that America paid for.
Shame!
I watched a toy be pulled from the pocket of a child who was martyred during an airstrike, and I thought about all the toys I pull out of the laundry when I wash it. And I thought of my children, and I cried because the only reason that they are safe is because they were born here. I watched the father cry after he saw his home fall down upon his family after he walked inside his wife and son, and I listened to him say, "What has my son done?" I was so excited to watch him become a young man. He was just becoming a young man. I have watched a deaf man try to speak to loved ones, and I realized the reality of the disabled. I cannot believe how the disabled Palestinians are dealing with this right now. How are they to leave? How are they to find resources? I've watched a child barely older than my baby shake in a tattered Spider-Man shirt that my own sons have worn. That hit me. I realized then that I will never, ever, ever, ever be able to understand in any capacity what is going on in these people's hearts and minds. Because I am safe, my children are safe, and I am secure in that privilege. Yet I ache, and I cannot begin to imagine their agony. Children covered in burn scars, "Mama, come, my love," over and over. A 3-year-old trying to just catch his breath and figure out what happened in his eyes. I will see his eyes when I shut mine. And I can't stop. I can't sleep. An 8-year-old boy mourning his entire family. A 7-year-old girl screaming, "I don't want to die," over and over as bombs rain down around her. Children playing in the courtyard of the hospital that was blown up the next day. Pregnant women about to give birth, martyred, and their babies were unable to make it. All of this is illegal. It is illegal to target citizens, carpet bomb, and destroy entire neighborhoods. Each night, these children go to sleep for the last time, and this is ethnic cleansing. I found out recently that the phones are going to receive messages that if they haven't evacuated, they're considered terrorists. They have nowhere to go. The ground invasion is set up to begin. They will go door to door, calling these innocent families, averaging 4 children each, terrorists, and then they will continue to commit genocide.
Shame!
The only thing I really think that everyone in the entire world should be able to agree on is that children are always innocent. In the wars of man, children are always innocent and should never, ever be the victims. And what is happening right now is happening at the hands of Israel with the full support of the American government. And we, the people, need to make sure that we don't stop screaming that we don't want this. We don't want our tax dollars going to genocide. We should be stopping this as a nation, but this is our legacy now. This is what we will be known for. This is what we will go down in history for. This is what Genocide Joe's presidency will be remembered as, and we should be valuing the lives of these innocent people, these thousands of children. Millions around the world are marching, screaming, and we aren't being heard. It's because the world went blind to Palestine a long time ago.
Shame.
If they didn't want to target citizens, they wouldn't cut off food, like water and power. They wouldn't. There would be no reason to cut off supplies to these people if it wasn't intentionally to target citizens. They wouldn't be going into the West Bank and killing Palestinians there. We need to remember our humanity and solidarity. And I swear I'm going to wrap this up. I am Appalachian. It's a mountain range nearby. And many Appalachians understand the importance of solidarity. I implore you to look into the largest labor uprising in American history, the Battle of Blair Mountain. Mining towns were invaded by businessmen and essentially trapped the miners there, paying them in script so that they could not leave. Their living conditions were horrible, and when 2 of their own were murdered, they rose up in mass and fought back. That is the story of my people, and I relate to the Palestinians way more than I will ever relate to the government officials having us fight each other for their own gain. I remember the words of Angela Davis. If they come for me in the morning, they will come for you in the night. We mourn with you, Palestine. We bleed with you, Palestine. To everyone who is not Arab, please check on your Arab friends and neighbors. Show them humanity still exists. Hear their stories and make this personal for you. Ceasefire now, end the occupation, and free Palestine. Thank you.
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! We are all here to grieve. We're all here to grieve Palestinians. But while we're grieving, we also have to use our voices. And that's why we're all here. We grieve together because we are all one ummah. And if the whole world is ummah, Palestine is the heart. We are all connected and in solidarity together while we mourn and we grieve and we check up on each other. We still, not for 1 second, should stop talking about Palestine.
Hi, everyone. I want to start off by thanking you all for being here. I know that it's been really hard to be pro-Palestine, right? It's been really hard to be anti-genocide, right? Because for some reason, the ending of genocide in this country is a controversial topic. It's not as simple as, hey, end genocide, stop killing people. People are always going to fight back. They're always going to say something about that, right? All of us have received so much criticism. All of us have received so much backlash, but you're still here anyway. And I cannot even begin to voice how much that means to me and the family that I have in Palestine and all of the Palestinian people. So thank you so much for being here. But as we continue on, I know that advocacy burnout is coming, right? We're about to hit that 2-week mark, right? And people might start feeling like nothing's changing. I'm begging and I'm advocating and I'm at these protests and I'm posting on social media and our government isn't doing anything. And that can start to really weigh on you. You can start to maybe post less, come out less, try to do less because you feel like nothing is changing. But I really want to bring up 2 things that are changing. And they're drastic changes, right? One, the Western media and its perspective and its coverage on what's happening, that's changing. It is beginning to show exactly the genocide that's happening in the Gaza. Because you can't hide the truth, right? Like in the beginning, there was a lot of propaganda. There was a lot of focus on what happened in the Israel settler colony. And then once that was over and Israel killed, 5,000 of the Palestinian people in Gaza, you can't hide that anymore. You can't hide the carpet bombing. You can't hide the pictures of the dead babies. There's videos and there's proof. And everyone is starting to see that. That's what's starting to circulate around Western media. And that's what you're doing out here. You're continuing to do that. You're continuing to change the perspective. But two, and more importantly, the people in Palestine are noticing. What you're doing here is giving them hope. 2 weeks ago, when this started, I called my dad, who lives in Palestine, with all of my siblings. And I asked him, how are you doing? Are you okay? Like, I see what's going on. And he said, well, no, we're not okay. This is the worst it's ever been. They're not killing like just the Hamas terrorist group, right? Quote unquote terrorist group. They're killing everyone and anyone. No one is safe. And in some shame. And in some desperate attempt, really pathetic attempt to comfort him, I said, well, the people here are posting. I think that they're starting to pay attention. I think that things might be different this time. And he said, well, they post every year. Every year for a period of time since 2016, Israel has carpet bombed Gaza. And every year, people have posted about it. But then people forget. They move on. They stop posting. As the Palestinian people continue to suffer, people here move on with their lives, right? As if it's not continuing to happen. And I didn't really know what to say to that because he was right. It's been happening for 16 years and nothing has changed. But a couple of days ago, in some miracle way, my father and I were able to connect again. And I called him and I said, how's it going? I mean, it's such a bad thing to ask, like, how's it going, as, you live in constant fear of dying at any minute. And he said, it's gotten exponentially worse, to the point where my dad and my siblings are not in the same house anymore. They've separated so that not all of them would die if a bomb hit our house. There is no way that I could even begin to explain what that's like, that my dad lives somewhere different than my siblings who live where he hopes that it is somewhere safer. But I'm glad that they did. I'm glad that they separated, because just last night, his neighborhood got bombed. Right? Our house, everything destroyed in that neighborhood. And so as I sat there and as I heard him talk about that, I had no words of comfort this time, except, I think things are different. It's been 2 weeks and people are still showing up. People are still paying attention. People are angry. They're scared for you. They're trying to do everything they can to stand up for you. And he said, yeah, you know what? We can see it here. We can notice it here. What you're doing here in America, it's giving them so much hope. That's what my dad said. He said the people here, although they're angry and they're sad and they're scared, they're also hopeful. For the first time in all the past 16 years of constant siege by the Israeli settlers, the Palestinian people are starting to feel hope. And there is no way that I can put into words how much that means to me and how much that means to them and how much it means for the Palestinian people to have hope that someday they're going to walk in their land as free people. That's indescribable. But that is why I'm so thankful that you're here. I know thank you means it's not even close to how I would voice my gratefulness, but thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! 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 Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Thank you so much. I know that it's been really hard to stand here. I know that we've all received a lot of backlash and criticism. I know that while you're at these protests, there's always somebody who's going to try to, tell you why standing up against mass genocide is wrong, right? Why it's okay to kill Palestinian people, though it's not, right? It's not okay to kill anybody, but standing here and trying to justify genocide is honestly quite mind-blowing to me. Like, I don't understand how gutsy you have to be to do something like that. But because I've been to a lot of these protests, and there's always somebody maybe holding a sign that says, let's talk about Israel. And you're supposed to not entertain those conversations, right? Somebody's trying to tell you why they're pro-genocide. Naturally, you're not supposed to entertain that. But I love those conversations, right? Like, I want to hear your delusions. I want to know why you think that killing people is okay. So I will normally approach these people because I'm confident in my facts. I'm confident in the history that I know. I'm confident in the memories that I have when I lived in Palestine and the war that I experienced when I was there. I'm confident in the pictures and the videos that we're seeing each day. So I want to hear what you have to say. And one of the usual approaches I'll have with a sign like, let's talk about Israel, I'll go up and I'll say, what's going on in Israel? And they'll say, well, thousands of people are dying. I mean, babies are being beheaded and children are being kidnapped. And I'll say, oh, I thought that was what was happening in Gaza. And this is really insulting, right? Because I'm refusing to acknowledge what happened in Israel and focus on what's going on in Gaza. And they'll say, well, we have a right to defend ourselves and our people. And I'll say, dude, I agree. That's why I'm at a pro-Palestine protest. I think you're on the wrong team. You seem to be saying what I'm saying. And then they'll say, okay, so you support a terrorist group going in and killing thousands of people. And I'll say, what are you even talking about? Of course not. I'm at a pro-Palestine protest. Dude, you might be holding the wrong flag. We can switch. I don't understand what's going on. And naturally now I've called Israel a terrorist colony and refused to acknowledge what happened there, and also had the audacity to tell him he's pro-Palestine. So I've really pissed this guy off, right? And then he'll say, so you are okay with the killings of innocent civilians? Well, no, that's why I'm at a pro-Palestine protest. This guy is not listening to me, right? I really am just talking to a brick wall here. And then they'll hit me with, okay, then condemn Hamas, right? If you don't think that innocent civilians should die, then condemn Hamas. And how's it? No. What? Wait, you won't condemn a terrorist group? No, I won't condemn Hamas, the resistant movement. I won't condemn what an oppressed group of people did to fight against their oppressor. You cannot sit at home in all of your privilege and your unlimited access to the internet and Wi-Fi and power and food and water and everything that you have and tell me to criticize the way that an oppressed group of people is choosing to voice their pain and anger, in the way that they are choosing to fight against their oppressor. Because when I'm stressed. The chant, we all know it. When something is justified, resistance is justified. We know that. When people are occupied, resistance is justified. Holy hell. Exactly. Anger is justified. That violence is justified. I will not sit here and condemn the way that my people are choosing to fight against their oppressor. It's really quite that simple. And so now, really, I'm the enemy here. Lights are flashing, all the wrong buttons have been pressed. So they'll throw the very last defense mechanism, right? Okay, so you're an anti-Semitic Jew hater. We've all heard that one, right? We're all pro-Palestine equals anti-Semitism. We've all heard that at some point these past 2 weeks. And what I have to say about that is this card, this golden ticket at the chocolate factory, this, oldest trick in the book, is what Israel has used for years to justify its oppression against the Palestinian people. For years. Anytime someone dares to call them out on what they're doing, on murder, on ethnic cleansing, on genocide, they throw this card down like, it's a royal flush in a poker game. Like this is exactly what they've been waiting for. This excuses everything that they've done. And this label as anti-Semitic is very it's very powerful, right? It allows people to step back and be silenced because they don't want to be called an anti-Semitic. They're feared into silence. That's what they're doing. That's what Israel government is doing with this. So I want to finish off by coming back full circle and thanking you again for not being scared, for not being silenced because of your fear, for not letting people try to stop you from standing up for exactly what's right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And then the last thing I want to say, we've all heard about this, but the Israeli government has sent out a warning to the people that they were going to bomb the Al-Aqsa hospital, right? That hospital currently houses 12,000 people. 500 of those are injured. The Red Crescent, shame. Where are they going to go? The Red Crescent spokesperson said they're not going anywhere. The people in the hospital have said that they're not going anywhere. So any day now, 12,000 people are going to die. And I know that you're out here, and I know that you're posting on social media, and I know that you're doing all you can. There's more that you can do, right? You can call your Congress. You can talk to the people. You can demand for ceasefire and demand for liberty and justice. And if you don't know how to do that, then find me. I'll be here. I have a script written out already. I have the number for Congress. I have exactly who our representative are. So it would take 15 seconds, and you could save the lives of 2.2 million people. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Free, free Palestine! 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 Free, free Al-Aqsa! 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 Biden, Biden, don't you see? Biden, Biden, don't you see? Brain fart, hold on, sorry. You are on a killing spree! You are on a killing spree! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! End the siege on Gaza now! 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 Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! Palestine will be free! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Al-Aqsa! Free, free Al-Aqsa! End the occupation now! 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 Ceasefire 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 now! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! End the occupation now! End the occupation now! End the occupation now! End the occupation now! Stop killing children! 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 Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Assalamu alaikum. Peace and love to everyone that was able to show up today. I'd like to take a moment of silence for Wadi' al-Fayyumi and all the martyrs from Palestine. As much as we are hurting, it gives me hope to see all these beautiful faces out here today. I got 2 points to make. Point number 1, being together in times like this is very important. Surround yourself with friends and family. Check on your friends, check on your family. Because together we are stronger. As much as we are hurting and as angry as we all are with what's going on in our land, Palestine, we cannot get through this alone. Because no one can defeat the power of the people. When I say people, you say power. People.
Power.
People.
Power.
People.
Power.
People.
Power.
People.
Power.
My second point is to not let our voices be silenced. Keep showing up to protest. Keep contacting your representatives. It is our job to come out and make sure people like Josh Shapiro and Fetterman don't get into the positions they are in.
Yes.
Josh Shapiro had the audacity not to utter the word Palestinian right after meeting with 10 Palestinians. Shame!
Shame!
They will not silence us. The West can spread propaganda and aim their guns at us, but we will keep showing up. We must show up. We have no excuse. Our people in northwestern Syria, Idlib, have been getting bombarded for the past 4 weeks by the Assad regime. Yet, they will still make the time to protest for Gaza. What is our excuse? Gaza is asking for our prayers and to show up, and that's exactly what we're going to do. What do we say when Gaza says jump?
How high?
What do we say when Gaza says jump?
How high?
What do we say when Gaza says jump?
How high?
Thank you very much, everybody. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Peace and love.
I am so sorry, but my phone is like pretty much done. If you're joining now,
When I
please
say
go to the
people,
beginning.
people, people, people,
I'm so
Harrisburg,
sorry,
make
guys.
some noise.
Thank you so much for tuning in. And
Harrisburg,
for
I need y'all to get
having
closer to me right now because I didn't come here to hear myself.
Free
Get closer to me,
Palestine.
please. Make some noise. And my brother, don't worry about the media and how many people they think we have. Let me tell you, I came from Philly this morning. Yesterday, we had 20,000 people at City Hall in Philadelphia.
Yes!
20,000 people at City Hall in Philadelphia. These Palestinian flags. Make some noise for Philadelphia. But we read the news this morning. They said there was a handful gathered to support Palestine at City Hall. So let me tell you, we don't care what the media is going to say about us. What we care is about one thing. People! 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 Brothers and sisters, in these moments, we have a lot of adrenaline.
Sorry, guys, but I will definitely
We have a lot of
get some
energy.
these people.
We have a lot of pain. But there's some things that we have to speak about as a family.